NBA season's got to be right around the corner. They're playing some preseason games now. Usually you don't watch them, but last night the Wizards and Bulls got into it a little bit there. Joakim Noah and Paul Pierce, the veteran they added to kind of be a placeholder, ideally for Otto Porter when he gets the hang of it finally. Is this an indication of a rivalry that could be brewing, down the road? Because these are two teams, presumably, if Derrick Rose stays healthy and the Wizards live with potential, that could meet in maybe the conference finals. Dan, what are your thoughts on that?
Or
the semis, yeah.
They're probably two of the
so
4 or 5 best
Is
teams.
this kind of preseason nonsense, or is there something to it?
No, I think there's something to it. I mean, I think that the Wizards have talked a lot about trying to be these new bad boys or whatever, which is kind of bizarre. But then in their first preseason game, there they are mixing it up twice. And then there's Seraphin setting a pick and sitting over Jimmy Butler, and then Seraphin this morning tweeted out the YouTube video of him setting that pick and sitting over Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's kind of silly, but certainly there's now with Cleveland and with Chicago, based on the war words with Cleveland and the guards last week, there's regular season Eastern Conference Wizards games that you're kind of looking forward to and wanting to tune into. So yeah, I mean, I think that these are, with the Cavs, the Bulls, and the Wizards, these are going to be 3 playoff teams, and they're going to have some regular season battles. And it's going to be entertaining, which is cool because a lot of regular season NBA games aren't.
Scott, is a preseason skirmish a sign of things to come or not?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think even before that, let's say they just played a clean game last night. I think looking back to the first-round playoff series last year, just kind of the Bulls style, the skirmishes in that one, the suspension of Nene. I mean, I think we knew. This wasn't on my radar, the preseason game last night. I didn't think there would be people poking each other in the eye.
You weren't the only one.
But I think certainly looking ahead to the regular season, anytime these teams go up, not only because you figure they'll be up there in the top of the Eastern Conference standings, but because of what happened, the history in the playoffs from last year, yeah, I think this is a budding rivalry.
Do you see it that way too, Neil? Or is it just Paul Pierce being Paul Pierce and Joakim Noah? Everyone wants to take a stab at him, or is there something to it? And will there be a rivalry developing this season?
No, I think we saw a little bit of it in the playoffs last year,
yeah.
and I agree with both Dan and Scott said. I mean, we're looking at 2 of the teams that are more than likely going to contend for the Eastern Conference. And this is all. Paul Pierce also has been around the league a long time, been on championship caliber teams, and knows the league. And I think almost, he kind of looks at this as a way to get, I don't know, maybe a little spark going. But I like it.
I think so.
I like mixing it up.
Pierce has been really vocal already within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's what this team needs, I think, right now. I mean, we talked about the Cavs being an afterthought almost in the DC sports scene. I mean, I think this is going to push them even further on the fringe because the Wizards look like a fun team to watch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have the skill, and if they bring that element of being kind of a league badass type thing, I mean, I think that they're gonna get a lot of attention this year.